Hi, everyone. Welcome. This is Romola D Reports. I'm Romola D, and I'm here again this afternoon with Seven. This is NewsBreak 6, and we are following on from part 1 of what we had done a little bit earlier. So let me shut this up, actually. I'm hearing myself talk. I had to shut that down, sorry. What we had done a little bit earlier. So there we are. So in any case, yesterday what we did was NewsBreak 5, and Seven launched her wonderful campaign, No More Abuse, No More Evil, kind of a declaration of power campaign. It's a social media and Twitter hashtag campaign is what it is. And it's kind of a, standing your own ground and taking your own power back and speaking out to anybody who's oppressing you in whichever realm of experience you may be experiencing abuse of whatever kind. Whether it's targeting by the surveillance state that's gone out of control, or whether it's, just generally being assaulted by the chemtrails. We all are targeted by the chemtrails, really. And, or whatever else. If you're fighting crime in any sphere, if you are standing up to corruption in any sphere, if you are dealing with difficult situations wherever you are, and you have identified the organized crime syndicate that is currently oppressing all of us worldwide. This is a way to step forward, speak out, just as citizens, as people, as human beings in our own right, to declare our sovereignty, to declare our own power, and to take our own power back. So with that note, I'll turn it over to Seven, and Seven can give you a little summary, really, of what the campaign is all about, and then we'll talk about, then we'll move into part 2, I guess. So welcome, Seven.
Greetings, Romola. Thank you for having me on again, and greetings to everybody watching out there. And, much love to everybody who has engaged in the campaign so far. We are having amazing feedback in just a short amount of time, I mean, I'm just amazed at how much progress we've already made. This is a united effort. The reality is, for any of us who are targeted, any of us who've experienced the cover-up of a case, there's the Ambrose case that's just been brought to my attention this week, and so we have Tony Ambrose Ball, is it Ambrose Ball's mother, has come forward. I was supporting Brian Harvey's case before there's my case, which is the Sevengate case, 7 versus Gossage and 9 others. And in my particular case, my case involves a crime ring, which is operating from the UK at the highest levels of power. They have co-opted the entertainment industry, the media, they have co-opted Hollywood, the intelligence agencies. We're talking about hospitals. Virgin Media has taken over all the hospitals, education, universities. I'm talking about every sphere of influence. For the last 15 years, I've watched these satanic criminals take over. Literally, they are behind Grenfell Tower, the mass murders of the people in Grenfell Tower. They're behind 7/7 bombings, which is directly connected to my case. Both of them are directly connected to my case. They are behind the shooting of John Charles Menendez. John Charles happens to be my family's name. And some of you will remember that he was shot 7 times in the head. And when you start really opening this onion and seeing what is going on in the UK and internationally, because this is not just in the UK, we're talking about an international crime ring that are engaged in the most horrific scale crimes against humanity. So, they're behind all of the false flags. If you were seen yesterday, you will see I explained how these false flags are kicking off. Charlie Hebdo. Charlie is actually Charles. My name is Charles 7. I'm from the family of John Charles. but my name was shortened to Charlie 7, because of the fact that, you know, I was like a tomboy when I was younger. And also I'm the 7th in the line of my family. I'm the last child. I'm the 7th child in the line of my family. And now I just refer to myself as 7, because I do not resonate with the name Charles whatsoever. I'm a spiritual being. I see myself as a child of the Most High. I honor the Most High in my own life, and I believe that every single one of us has got a right to be here. We should not be afraid of these people. We are the Davids with Goliaths. We are the Neos. We are the Esthers in the Bible. We are the divine feminines and divine masculines that are stepping up to the plate to say no more. No more of your abuse. We're talking about horrific scales. Crimes against humanity is kicking off at a rate that I cannot fathom. Okay, for the last 15 years, I've seen this happen and destroy family after family after family. I've seen cover up after cover up after cover ups, mothers crying, fathers crying, children's families being torn apart, and there is nowhere to go. Every single department has been blocked. Every single institution that the taxpayer pays their money to go to in order so that we are supposed to be able to obtain justice, access to justice. It is being denied from us. We are being abused. Those of us who want to seek justice are often targeted. You know, we're left on a targeting campaign. You know, we have people, I know targets from the medical industry. I know people whose children, babies have died in the NHS hospital. Nothing is being done about it. Cover up. People who come forward with such cases like Nilu Berry, Call Grant. I know so many people whose babies have been killed in the NHS service, and basically these people become targeted in the most horrific way. Nilu Berry's house has just been taken off her. So we're talking about a program which is basically being run en masse. I just mentioned UK cases, but this is internationally. I know people that are going through, like yourself and many of the people on your panel that you interview. There are many of us all over the world right now. Okay, now if you go onto my channel and you see some of the, you know, videos that I've made. The other day I made a video about the targeting day. Was the 29th, I think. Was it the 29th of August, the Targeted Individuals Day? And you will see on the list worldwide. This is something that is being playing out worldwide. It's part of the New World Order agenda. It's part of Agenda 21, 2030, to make sure that basically we, the people, have absolutely all our lives destroyed. All our property stolen. We have no rights to access to justice. And this is what I'm here to change. I'm here to change that. So I'm not going to do a long rant today because I can talk for England. Everybody knows that. So basically, we got to keep it short and concise. And, you know, I know that a lot of people have questions about my case. How is my case connected to 7/7 bombings and Charlie Hebdo and Grenfell Tower? In short, it's a crime syndicate who are operating inside the mainstream media, intelligence agencies. They've taken over the police, they've corrupted the judiciary, and they're operating, they have fixers on every level. Now, when I went to court in 2005 and I went to take proceedings against 10 individuals and corporations, this crime ring set off the London bombings on the 7th of July, 2005. I went into hiding and they shot the guy, John Charles Menendez, who has my name 7 times in the head, to send a warning to me to keep my mouth shut. If you go onto my channel, and you look at the links, we'll put the links in this description so that you can understand the magnitude of what I'm coming to you with. But I'm not coming to you as woe is me. I'm coming to you as a child of the Most High God who knows that this, what is going down, is absolutely evil. And we have the power. The power is the people's. The powers is the people. So I'm coming at you as a solutionary with tools of how we're going to address this situation. Because they've made it so that every single department is blocked. They have gatekeepers, doesn't matter what you do. My sister told me, I don't know if you're watching me, but I'm saying to you, my sister, I'm with you 100%. I feel your pain. But I'm telling you this, your petition, you're going to Satan about Satan, okay? They are not going to investigate themselves, okay? That is the program we are dealing with today. It doesn't matter where you go, especially if you're melanated. If you're melanated, like we're melanated, but this program rolls out to everybody. But we're talking about melanated people specifically are being put into a slavery program. They are harvesting our organs, okay? Exhibit B, remember that thing with Exhibit B where people campaigned to remove there was an exhibition about slavery. It's happening, they're doing it. They're doing it. Why do you think there's all these movies about slavery being funded by the same crime ring, Rupert Murdoch and the crime ring, Seven Gate crime ring? So that's where we are, people. And I say that to help you to redirect your energy. Don't waste your time trying to convince people to go to Satan about Satan. You're wasting your time, okay? You will be far more effective, okay, if you put your energy and into letting people know that we come in to take our power back. As a united humanity, we taking our power back. Okay, that's where we are. Okay, and that's what I'm about, and that's what I'm saying to everybody. We know these institutions are corrupt, but they cannot continue the corruption in the spotlight. Okay, they're targeting people. Can you not see that there's fires all over the place now? Can you not see that people are buildings are burning? There was a museum today. What was that museum? Someone told me about a museum today.
Brazil, Rio de Janeiro.
Okay, that was in Brazil, the museum that burned down.
Yeah.
Every single day. You got to understand these people are all over. They have so much money you cannot fathom. That's why they are targeting creative people to steal our intellectual property. People like Prince, they've stolen his catalog. People like me who are creators, they have us on a slavery program, and our innovations are being sold all over the world in over 126 countries. This is generating the revenue whereby they are carrying out these programs. They're carrying out slavery and trafficking on a breakneck speed. BBC are involved. ITV are involved. Channel 4 are involved. All of these networks are involved. Scottish media groups are involved. Scottish TV, Grampian Television. You're talking about ABC, CNN, all the major networks, Associated Press and Associated TV networks, they are all involved, okay? And they will make sure when you go to them, even though we have to start blasting them with these hashtags, no more evil, power is the people. We know what you're doing. We know what you've done. We basically have to put it into the spotlight. That's why I'm encouraging, if you have a case right now, make a short video about your situation. Let people know what's happening to you. That's the way that you have to do it. And then we as a unit, as a united front, we don't need to see each other because they've got so much corruption right now. They're infiltrating. When people try to get together, they're infiltrating groups to smash it up, smearing people, putting plants in there to smash things up. So the way that we're doing this is so that we can be operate as individuals. We can operate as individuals, sovereign individuals in our own right. We're not citizens. We're not subjects, because those words mean that we're slaves. The actual definition of a citizen is a slave. It is a subject. We are sovereigns, okay, of the Most High God, okay? And that's why I'm appealing to all the people of the Most High God, the 144,000, rise up, join us, okay? It's a very simple campaign, and we're making amazing headway. So I want to, because we don't have a lot of time, in today's video, I want to just talk, give you an update of feedback of what's happening, so that you can see for yourself the power we've had in just a few days. In a few days, there's one newspaper that's folded, okay? Then we also have, in a few days, we actually, when I launched the campaign, the day I launched the campaign, the military in America took out one of the 7 of the satellites. And if you look at this article, which I'm going to show you right now, it shows, and it's put 7 in big numbers. The day we launched this officially, they took it out, even though I had been running it for a while in the background. But now we're picking up momentum. People are interviewing, like Romola. God bless Romola, who's also a targeted individual. Send love to Romola. Subscribe to Romola's channel, and let people know the great work she's doing. She's a female warrior, and she's my sister. And I love you, Romola, because you are putting the words out. It doesn't take Romola half an hour. If I contact her and I say, Romola, this is happening, she'll put me on straight away. She'll stop everything she's doing to put me on. And I love you for that, Romola. And we need more people to bring up channels, okay? Open a YouTube channel if you haven't got one, so that you can report on how the campaign is doing. We need boots on the ground. We need people to be reporting. We need people to be doing interviews, so that we can go out to wider and wider networks.
Absolutely. I just wanted to say one little word, Seven. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Absolutely. No, all good. Everything you're saying is very, very needed, very essential and wonderful. I just wanted to say this term targeted individual, I personally do not call myself a targeted individual, and I do have a problem with this term, with this name, with this label. And, I think a lot of people have discomfort with it, because it's a term that's been inherited, that people have kind of used of people. So obviously I am a writer and a journalist who's become targeted by the surveillance state, by the local Massachusetts Fusion Center, by this particular area that I'm living in. I've been targeted by miscreants in the FBI, in the local fusion centers, etc., etc. And I'm still trying to send FOIA requests out and send cease and desist out to them, and send letters to them and ask them what on earth is going on. Why am I being surveilled? Why am I being assaulted with electromagnetic weapons, etc.? So I think that's the situation in which all of us find ourselves. None of us deserves to be targeted in this fashion, and yet we are. None of us needs to be surveilled or monitored, and yet we are. So, this doesn't stop us from being who we are. We retain our original identities. Because we do. As you say, we claim ourselves, we claim our own power, we claim our sovereignty. You know what I mean? And I'm very worried about labels being affixed to people and erasing their former identities, I want to see people in their complete light as they are. I want to see you in your right as you are, as an artist, a musician, a concept creator, a human rights activist, a public speaker, a visionary. Or anybody I interview, I want to see them in the light that they present themselves to me. That's all, So I have a real problem with labels. That's the only thing. I just wanted to mention that.
I think that's a very important message, because part of what they're doing to us is to disempower us, to isolate us, to make us less of ourselves. Most of the people that I've ever come across who are targeted are gifted people. They're either part of the 144,000, the most wise people. They're very extremely intelligent. They're extremely wise. They're people with a conscience, with a soul. That's why you've got whistleblowers. People see when they see something going wrong, they actually say, no, I'm not standing for that. And they step up to the plate and they put themselves forward. Some people die doing that, but it shouldn't be the case. It shouldn't be the case. Criminality should not be the standard. All right, cover up should not be the standard. The standard should be that we treat each other with love and respect as fellow members of humanity, whatever color your skin is, okay, whatever religion you have, okay, we should have that standard. And so I totally agree. They try to give us this kind of label, target
Exactly. Yes,
label, so that
exactly.
you become some sort of a leper,
Mm-hmm.
whereby people are like, oh, she's targeted. No,
Mm-hmm.
no, no, everybody's targeted. Are you not seeing they're burning down the place all over the place?
Exactly.
Everybody's targeted. If you're not a Satanist and a Luciferian right now, you are targeted, because at some stage they're going to come for you. When you come home from work and you're living your life and you're doing what you're doing, all of a sudden, one day, just like us, you're going to find yourself in a situation which is a horror story. And then you're going to get a rude awakening when you take that horror story to any of those departments to address some criminality that's happened, whether it be a murder of a loved one, whether it be abuse, whether it be that you're being totally attacked by people within institutions that are abusing their power. Now, I want to emphasize this point. Every single person out there who's watching us, I want to emphasize this point, that if any of the people who are doing this to us, any one of us did even an iota of what they are doing to us, if we did that back to them, even to defend ourselves, do you know what kind of heavy weight they will come at us with? We are talking about innocent people who have done nobody no wrong. We are being wronged, and these people who are being wronged are being protected at the highest level of power, because within the crime, organized crime syndicate that we're talking about, human trafficking, slavery, organ harvesting, and all the atrocities, false flag terror, all of it makes big money. It's big business. It's big business for them. So it's not in their interest to make sure that there is justice for any of us. However, there is a standard, and that standard is written in law, okay? And this is what this talk is about today. We're not going to spend a long time. I want to give you a little bit of an update to show you the power that we have in a short space of time. All we need is for you to put it on all your social media networks. They've blocked me off Facebook since 2005 because they feel my power. That's why they targeted me. They know my power, okay, because I'm wired into the Most High God, okay? And they know that I have a truth. I took on 10 corporations and I won. It's unprecedented. It's never been done, especially by a melanated black female, okay? Now, they do not want you to be empowered. They don't want you to know about me. They don't want you to know about the case, because these criminals were supposed to go to prison by 2007. Okay, I issued proceedings 2004, and by 2005, in July, when the case was supposed to come to court, they blew up the trains. I had to go into hiding, where I stayed for 3 months until I was smuggled to a Notting Hill Gate police station. Okay, so this is the situation of the monsters we are dealing with. Okay, now what we have to understand, this crime ring were already supposed to go to prison. They know this. This is why they don't want me to have anybody to know about me or my case. They don't want people to know that a massive case took place against mainstream media. My famous work is Strictly Come Dancing, Dancing with Stars, You Are What You Eat, 10 years younger. We're talking about back-to-back hundreds of shows that belong to me, that I won a case for, which is raking in billions of pounds every year in revenue for these criminals. They do not want you to connect the dots and know that behind all these false flags is the most filthy, rotten, dirty situation ever been seen in mankind. They don't want you to know that. Okay, so I'm blocked from every social media platform. I'm blocked from YouTube, not from YouTube. I'm blocked, but my numbers are blocked. If you look at all my videos, you'll see my numbers go down. On Twitter, you'll see my numbers remain low. Doesn't matter how many thousands of people I read or tweets my stuff, my numbers will always stay low. Okay, this is why I'm relying on you people to spread this message and spread this video so that we can get people on board to shut the bullshit down, okay? So this is the importance of what I'm trying to show you. Now, today's video is about, I'm sharing my tools of how I sued 10 corporations and I won. I'm sharing it with you because every single one of you has the capacity to do the same thing. It's a very, very simple process, okay? It involves filling in a claim form and issuing court proceedings in the Royal Courts of Justice if you live in London. There are various different divisions. There's the county court, which takes claims of thousands of pounds. There's Chancery Division, which really deals more with property and bankruptcy and intellectual property and theft and those kinds of things, and claims that are over £1 million, which is where my case was. Okay, so then you have the High Court, which is also in the Royal Courts of Justice. There are various different courts within the Royal Courts of Justice building in the Strand, London. There are different courts. Okay, so then you've got the High Courts, which basically will hear cases that are big of £1 million and over, and also family type cases in the Queen's Bench, etc. Okay, so I'm telling you to go to the Queen's Bench, and I want you to issue proceedings against the various different people who are involved in your madness. I'm showing you how to do it because they've locked it down so that there is no lawyers that is going to take your case. It doesn't matter. You can go from lawyer to lawyer to lawyer to lawyer. I learned the hard way. I personally learned the hard way that there is no lawyer that will take proceedings if you have been violated, you have been abused. In the UK, it doesn't matter. I mean, I presume it's the same in America and all over Europe and all over the world, okay, right now. Because this crime ring is basically, they have gatekeepers everywhere. We're talking about trillions of pounds they have access to. It's big money. All of those false flags, it's big money that they're generating from these false flags. Then they make movies about the false flag that they did. Now they want to do a movie about Grenfell Tower after they had a movie in production before Grenfell Tower actually happened. Now, when you start looking at that crime report, and we're going to break down the crime report so that you can see the level of filth and evil, 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 evil to the core, the kind of people who are in positions of power right now. None of those people have your best interest at heart. We're dealing with satanic devils and demon-possessed people. These are Luciferians. These are people that are cult-orientated. They hate us. We've done nothing to them. We are loving people, but they hate us. And they want to destroy us.
And we still don't want to do anything to them. You know, that's something people should know.
Yeah, see that? See that with Romola? That's why I love you, Romola. Romola has such a peaceful heart, honestly. You know, we have to come at this thing intelligently with wisdom, okay? If we start talking about we're going to go and shoot and drag people out of offices like they did in Iceland, Iceland threw them out at least 10 years ago already. Iceland realized what was going on and they didn't mess about the people in Iceland. They pulled them out of the media. They pulled them out of the banks. They pulled them out of the government. They had to root every single, they had to go running these people. Okay? Now, I'm not advocating at all for anybody to be physical. This is what the beauty of this hashtag campaign is all about. It's about empowerment. You blast these people, you tag all their names into the tweets, blast them with your evidence, pull up videos with false flags, with Jihad John with a green screen. You know who ISIS is? The ISIS is the mainstream media. It's another TV production. They fooled everybody to believe they got this crazy Islamic group, ISIS, killing and beheading people, and it's all being done in a studio. Come on, people. It's time for everybody to wake up and see the coffee. This is what is going on. And they don't want people like me making you wise. But here's the thing. Even after, let me tell you this. My mother and father died suspiciously. Apart from all the other things, my friends died 2012, 17th of May on the same day. Malcolm Moore and Howard Etchells. They didn't know each other on the same day, okay? My parents both died in 2012. Not on the same day, but the same year. Sorry, 2014, forgive me. My mother died on the 2nd of January, 2014. As far as I know, there was nothing wrong with her to result in death. Okay, then the next thing I heard, 6 months later, my father was dead. Okay, now, most of us who are victims, we've experienced horror stories. You know, I'm not saying mine is the worst, but mine is pretty up there as far as horror stories go. Okay, but I'm a strong person. I have the Most High, and the Most High has given me the conviction. And all the people who have died, they gave me conviction. My aunt and my cousin, Marjorie and Ernie Vital, died inside, well, I say died, were burnt alive inside Grenfell Tower amongst the hundreds of people that are also dead. They don't even want to report how many people died. This is how wicked the people we're dealing with are. They don't want nobody to see the crime report. That's why I put it on Twitter. I'm asking you to blast it. Blast it, blast it. Let everybody know what really went down and who really was responsible for this. Okay? So here, what I'm asking you here, I'm asking you, we need you to participate in the hashtag campaign. No, hashtag no more evil, hashtag no more abuse, hashtag the power is the people's, okay? Hashtag the people have risen, hashtag the wrath of the Most High God is upon you, hashtag karma is upon you, judgment is upon you, okay? I want you to blast them out far and wide to every single one of these networks. Let them know we're here. We're not taking it no more. We're not taking it no more. We are empowered people. We are loving people, and we ain't gonna take the bullshit no more, okay? That's the number one. The second part of this campaign is that I want you to issue proceedings. Now, it doesn't take any money. If you're on benefits and you've got a low income, you can a fee remission. You go to the fee remission department and they will give you a fee exemption so you can issue your proceedings. And I'm going to show you how to do it so that you do it properly, so that it can be issued and go to any one of these organizations that are involved in my case. You can all sue for the genocide. We're talking about genocide. We're talking about snuff movies that they're doing and profiteering from it, okay? I want you to, I'm going to show you, we don't have a lot of time. I'm talking longer than I wanted to talk. I wanted to just kick the information, but I need you to get it. I need you to get it, because this ain't nothing to leave behind when we leave this earth. This is not what we leave to our generations behind us. We're leaving suffering like you can't believe. If you think the transatlantic slavery was bad, you need to understand there's places they got children underground where they're boiling the children alive. They're chopping them up and feeding them to each other, and they're lying in piss and sorry, Ramona, but graphically, what this testimony, which this woman, Katie Groves, gave, she used as graphically that children are sleeping in piss and shit, they're being boiled alive, and they actually are, what did she say? They're being chopped up and fed to each other.
Oh
This
my
is not
God.
me saying this. This is a woman who's giving a witness testimony that this is happening. I knew slavery was happening. That's why they released the movie of Nat Turner. That's why they re-released Roots. That's why during the Olympics ceremony in 2016, the opening ceremony was slave catchers and black people and people running, and they had slave catchers trying to catch them in the net. that go to the Olympic ceremony and have a look at it and find out who funded that. That was Rupert Murdoch. It was the same crime ring in my case. I've known that this slavery has been going on for a long time, and I've been sounding the alarm loud to everybody. People have not been listening. So I'm saying this is how we take our power back, okay? There ain't no lawyers that's going to take your case. You have to, if you have people that you know, get together in groups, people that you trust. Don't bring in no people to you personally that you don't trust, that you've just met them and they're saying, yeah, they're part of this campaign, blah, blah, blah. Bring it to people that you trust. Find trustworthy people, if any. Yeah? Are you there, Ramola?
Seven, I'm here, but I'm seeing that your video is frozen a little bit. Okay, you've come back now.
Okay.
Back now. It was frozen for a minute.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
Okay, so what I'm saying, there's a lot of infiltrators. One of the key things that they do to targeted individuals is they make you want to isolate yourself. If you're a victim, they'll put people around you, engineer situations so that you keep yourself isolated in a state of fear, okay? I want us to break out of this cycle of fear. Whatever they're doing to us, okay, we want peace. We're coming for peace. We're not coming to, even though we are in our right to get justice, okay, jungle justice. We're not dealing with jungle justice, okay? We're intellectual people, we're wise people, we're spiritual people, okay? We're going to deal with this with the help of the Most High God and the love that we have for each other and the people that we know has passed in evil ways that didn't deserve to die like that. We're coming with this in mind and heart. This is not about violence. This is not about getting aggressive. This is about taking a measured, intelligent, wise approach to this situation. So, okay, so let's go. First, let me just show you. Okay, so let's go into the share screen.
Right, you just have to click on share screen.
Okay, let me just go to share screen. Where are you? I've lost you, Ramola. Oh my God. Okay,
I'm right here, but maybe you can't see me.
Okay, so I'm just going to share this with you so you can see it. All right. So you need to see this. All right. Well, first of all, let me show you this. Oh no. Where is it? I'm just going to show you. Is it there? It's not this one. It's not that. That's my other one. Sorry about this. I can't remember where it is. I have to go back. That's another
That's
video.
okay. So you weren't intending to show that article about the US spy satellites?
I was, but I want to show something first. What is this one now? Are we still in share screen, Ramola?
Not as far as I can tell right now, no.
No, all right, okay. So let me just show you. Oh, I'm just trying to show you something. Okay, all right. So did we come out of share screen?
Yeah, I think so. You may have clicked stop sharing without realizing. Right. Yeah.
Okay, so the first thing I want to show you is this, which most of you have probably seen it. All right. So you'll see that I put out the video campaign message, please blast, okay? No More Abuse UK, join campaign, speak out, make a video, make a vlog, make a meme. Basically, we want to flood the internet with this message to everybody to join it. Flood it. Use your creative skills. A lot of you targeted people are extremely gifted. Use your skills. So, okay, so this is very, the low numbers. I don't know if this is the genuine number or not. But I'm asking people to blast.
They mess with those numbers all the time. That is the image you were telling me about earlier, right? The child?
Yes, that's right. It's a child with screaming,
Yeah.
That's the picture I put up. I found that picture and I thought it would demonstrate how I feel about it,
Mm-hmm.
No more.
Yeah, looks pretty powerful.
The reason it says UK is because the UK is the belly of the beast. This is where the crime ring is operating from, okay? But it's international. That's why there's all that stuff with Christopher Steele hacking, GCHQ, and NSA. They're controlling all of it. The UK are running the slave trading internationally. Okay, all that stuff you see in Libya, it's all the root and the heart of it. Obviously, the US are involved. Okay, they've got people in every country involved. It's not a country that's not involved. Okay, it's a satanic crime syndicate. Okay, they're dealing with organ harvesting, they're dealing with all kinds of trafficking, slave trading. You know, they're targeting creative people so that they can steal our intellectual property. They go after artists like Prince, James Brown. I mean, you can just go on and on and on and on. But this is the reason I'm showing you this, so that you make a note of the date. Now, I published this on August the 31st, which happens to be my birthday, actually.
Oh, I didn't know that. Happy birthday, Seven.
Thank you. Thank you. That was my birthday present to the world. I said,
That's
on
fabulous.
my birthday, I'm going to make a video that gives it to the world, and hopefully somehow the intention that I had, the pureness of my intention to do that, will resonate with people in such a way that it will get the message to the heart of the people. Anyway, that was my thing.
That's fabulous. Okay. Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
It's a fabulous, fabulous birthday campaign, I have to say.
Yeah. So here, now, I want to show you on the same day after I released that, this came out. Breaking, US military suddenly blocks all spy satellite access, particularly to the UK. Listen to this. 7 CIA mainframe computers down, spy satellites offline. And you can make a note of the 7, right? Because in my case, you're going to see that come up again and again and again and again. And make a note. The reason I showed you my campaign video, because I did it specifically on the early hours of the 31st of August. You know, I was all night. On the 30th, I did a video with Alfred Weber. And I stayed up the whole night, which I stay up most nights. Most people who have been doing the campaign will know that 5 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, it's not unusual to see me tweeting, blasting tweets.
Yeah, you are pretty amazing.
Anyway. Let's check this out now. It says, breaking, vital US spy satellites rendered blind, no access by other nations. Pentagon declining to comment. Respected former CIA analysts predicted the action connected to Donald Trump. Conspiracy theorists say QAnon behind it. Okay, this is the bit I specifically want you to see. Today's sources from intelligence community are confirming critical CIA mainframe computer systems are offline, rendering 7. And you see that they put in capital letters. There's nothing else on this whole document.
Very interesting. Yes, I noticed that too.
That they made it big. Because that is because I'm dealing with the crime ring. The crime ring are the ones who are manning these satellites, okay, from GCHQ.
And the CIA.
The CIA and the NSA, sorry. So basically, let me read it again. Today's sources from the intelligence communities are confirming critical CIA mainframe computer systems are offline, rendering 7 spy satellites in the dark. Tech staff are working furiously to find out what happened to fix it. In Britain, MI5, MI6 and GCHQ are in panic mode. As speculation grows, this is Donald Trump's retaliation for the discredited Steele Russia dossier. Now, the Steele Russia dossier, it was a British spy, Christopher Steele or Michael Steele. Some people say it's Michael, some people say it's Christopher. I don't know what the man's name is. But there was a letter that was signed by Boris Johnson in the UK asking them to spy on Donald Trump and his whole campaign during his run for election. So that is what this dossier was about. They put a dossier together to frame Donald Trump to have had colluded with the Russians. Now, when they looked at this dossier, they came to the point where they realized that it was a whole hocus pocus made up thing. Okay. Now, I do not know who these Q are, but the first thing I want to say is thank you to whoever, if this is genuine and you've taken
Right.
out satellites, the first thing I want to say to anybody who's in the intelligence community, in the military, who has seen what is being done to us, who's seen my SOS, who's seen our call to action, who is working behind the scenes to stop this, who know about the Seven Gate crime ring, who know about the abuse that is happening to humanity and all of us being tortured, terrorized, murdered, burnt alive, brutalized, bombed, whatever, frauded, defrauded. You know, we're talking about monstrous situations. For all of you in the intelligence community who is aware of me and the situation, who is basically flagging this up because of us, I'm grateful to you. If this is genuine, we are grateful to you. We ask you to help us. We ask you as a humanity, as a peaceful humanity, we coming towards you and saying, look, we can't take the abuse anymore. We don't tolerate being trafficked. We don't tolerate being enslaved. We're not tolerating our loved ones being killed. We're not tolerating the cover-ups. We ain't tolerating not one bit of it, not for a second longer. And we are rising as a humanity to shut it down. Those of you in the intelligence community who's listening to me now, I have absolute gratitude if this is true. We are grateful to you. But we ask you to shut this whole stuff down. Shut it all down. Shut this crime syndicate down. Shut any form of technology they've got going on. We ask you to shut it down. We will make our voices loud worldwide and we will be heard. We will blast tweets, put it all over social media, however we have to do it to get our voices heard. We gonna make our voices heard, that we ain't tolerating it anymore. Okay, it's over. That's what we're saying. Okay, so I'm sending my love, and I mean that sincerely, to anybody who's working with us behind the scenes that we do not know, who may be helping us. Now I want to say this, as far as Q goes, personally, if you are honest people and you are genuinely working for humanity, then you have my gratitude, immense gratitude and immense, gratitude, that's the word.
Yes, absolutely. And I would just echo that. And, from the little bits of info I've picked up here and there, it certainly sounds like there are indeed some people who are working behind the scenes. And,
Yes.
I think you and I are possibly chafing at the bit here and wondering why on earth they're taking so long about it. Because
Yes.
we'd like all those satellites shut down, because there are hundreds, if not thousands of satellites probably out there that are being used not for legitimate, weather purposes or radar purposes to understand the movement of clouds or ocean currents or whatever, but they're being used with microwave pulse weapons loaded on them, targeting people on the ground, covert criminal networks from inside these organized crime syndicates that you're talking about, plus the intelligence agencies, are targeting people around the world. Plus, that's satellites. You've got satellites on the one hand, you've also got weapons testing going on. I mean, there are hundreds of weapons testing contracts that are currently being rolled out as we speak in 2018 that was started years ago, all through the 2000s and through the teens. If you look up the government contracts, definitely in the US, I'm talking about the US, I don't know the situation in Britain or Europe, but definitely there are American contracts with defense contractors like General Dynamics or Lockheed Martin that are involved in testing things like microwave weapons, millimeter wave weapons, and they are using the bodies of those who are being put unlawfully under surveillance under the aegis of the Patriot Act, now called the Freedom Act. Highly ironic, both names. People wrongfully put under surveillance under aegis of these two acts. People of integrity, people of conscience, people, as you said, who stand up and speak out, who stand up and stand out in communities, community leaders, civic-minded people. These are the people who are being put under surveillance by the criminals in power. They're being put under surveillance and then literally being sold. And this is another form of slavery. Talking about slavery, they're being sold into these weapons testing contracts.
Absolutely. I've been sold into a slavery program for 15 years, Ramona. These people will not get out of my life.
Yes, I've been targeted for 4 years now. 4 years. Why am I under surveillance and targeting for 4 years? That's because they've rolled me into one of these contracts with a defense contractor. Somebody's making huge amounts of money out of directing weapons in my direction,
Absolutely. And you see, a lot of this is on the dark web. You'd be surprised, but a lot of this, there are people, because like, for instance, when they break in, they put these covert cameras in where they stay, wherever we stay. And basically they're watching us with these five eyes. This is what this is about, 5 eyes. Now, let me just show you quickly. I want to flag this up because it says NSA no more. Obviously, the campaign is no more abuse. Okay, so this shows you that this is definitely in relation to what we've put out. Now, when you look at the numbers of my videos, they're very, very low. But you'd be surprised how far we're reaching. Because if I walk down the street now, I get people stopping me. Seven, we know who you are. And they put their fist up to me, like power to me.
That's
you know
wonderful.
What I mean? So it is reaching people. So this is all about what's going on in the UK, terminating Britain's access to spying secrets, NSA. So basically, it's Britain behind it. Britain is behind, this crime ring is behind all of it. And all of the people, Cassandra Dick, who's the head of the police, the chief of police, she was the one that they used. I think this woman is being used to shoot the Brazilian 7 times in the head, okay? So she obviously put into position to make sure there's not going to be no investigations into no crimes. As long as their people are in there, okay? Most probably Theresa May is one of them as well, because there's a list that somebody's made called Able Danger, and it's 92 people's names on this list. It's called Pedogate Operatives in High Places, female Pedogate operatives. So the women, in my case, the main woman was a woman called Helen Alexander. After I won my case, she changed her identity. She removed the fact that she used to be part of Jimmy Savile's ring in the BBC. Now, everybody knows that Jimmy Savile was a paedophile and he was part of a satanic cult. She was part of that cult, okay? She moved from BBC to Scottish media groups. They folded their name and they became Scottish TV after I won my name. Most of the companies that were involved, after I won my case, the judge was announced dead and they all changed their names and their identities, and Helen Alexander became Dame Helen Alexander. And I'm going to show you more information on this woman because you need to understand who these people are, okay? You know names like Rupert Murdoch, but you do not know the names of the real people who are right now, who are running all of these operations that you see there. These are the people that are the ones running it, okay? I sent you a wanted poster. I don't know if I can pull it up on the desktop. Will it be able to show something on the desktop, do you think, if I try?
It will. I think you may have to,
come out and
sharing, come out and go in again. Yeah, exactly.
All right, okay. So before I do that, I want to show you, because the other thing that has happened, I mentioned Scottish media groups where this woman was. Besides this happening, if the newspaper folded. Literally, this is all within since the 31st of August. A newspaper
this was the
has
Sunday
folded
Herald,
in Scotland.
right?
The Sunday Herald. Let's pull that up quickly. I will go to here and I put Sunday Herald paper. Oh, sorry about this, people. Oh, what is wrong with me?
I'm sure it'll pop up.
Okay, let me just put Sunday Herald newspaper. Oops, newspaper.
It's interesting that it doesn't just show up, though. You get the Wikipedia listing instead.
When was this? Scott, UK, Sunday Herald newspaper closes down. Let's put
That should
shuts.
do it. Yeah.
Closes down. It's important that you see that we are effective. I don't want you to think that you're just blasting up hashtags and it's not going to get us nowhere, okay? Basically, and look who's flagging it up, BBC. BBC, this is where the crime ring is operating within the BBC. Okay, so let's see what this article is. Okay. What date is this? September the 3rd. This is a paper that is in Scotland, yeah? It's shut down. After 19 years, all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
Look, make way for a 7-day offering of the Herald. Again, they flag up the 7 to make it known it's related. Okay, you'll notice that. You'll start seeing 7 all over the place. This ain't no joke, people. They know we're coming for them. They know what they've been doing to us. They know that you cannot kill, pillage, and torture and terrorize people and get away with it they've gotten away with it for literally decades. This has been going on, right? Because most people, when you start showing them the real horrors, let me come out of this for a second. Most people, when you start showing them the real horrors that's going on, they get frightened. This is why they make their crimes so horrific, so that people get paralyzed and immobilized. They think, oh my God, this is horrific. I don't want anyone to come after me and mine. I'm not going to say anything.
That's it, exactly. Yes. The whole phenomenon of the targeted individual phenomenon, in a sense, is something that they are milking, you know, for their own benefit, yeah. And that they are using also to keep a sense or a level of fear in the community. So people think, oh my God, I don't, exactly as you said, I don't want to get targeted. I don't want to be hit with these weapons. I don't want these people to be surveilling me on the street. So therefore I should shut up and do as I'm told, which is surveil others, monitor others, participate in the surveillance, participate in the abuse. You know, that's what's going on. People are participating.
Yeah, but here's the thing, people. If you don't shut it down, you're making yourself a target. You have 2 choices. Either you help us shut it down or you're going to become a target. You have to choose.
They're already targeted. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, if we look around at those who are, in a sense, following us around, the people who are known as gang stalkers, right? The organized stalkers, many of us notice that these people who assault us, whether we're in a store or whether it's just the roadway, whether it's your neighbors, they're not doing very well. Look at their health situation. Look at their health profile. Do they look happy, healthy, and, you know, getting on with life? I don't see that at all. I see them in dire straits. I see them having major health issues. You know, they're not looking fat and happy. They're just looking fat. So, which is that's just one example. They are, you know, I just mean to say they don't look healthy themselves. In other words, people who are not healthy, and you know, at any point in their lives today in this time period, it's not just an issue of how well you're living your life. It's an issue of your environment. It's an issue of what you're being exposed to, and it's an issue of targeting. Everybody, in a sense, is being targeted by Wi-Fi, by the air assaults, and by these weapon wielders,
That's
and
what 5G,
by satellites, and by 5G just down the road over here.
You know, we have also, sorry to cut you, Ramola, thank you for letting the people know.
No, go ahead, Yanda.
It's extremely important. You know, I mean, it never ceases to amaze me. You know, I listen to you, I speak about it on a daily. I've been doing this for 15 years. I didn't start doing this right now. I've been doing this for 15 years. And it never ceases to amaze me as I listen to, I just think to myself, because these people are nuts.
They're absolutely insane. They're totally demented.
Psychopaths.
Bonkers is the word.
Psychopaths who have stolen so much money that they can carry out this warped fantasy. Who do you think is behind the dark web? It's the same people. Same people. It's the same.
These are people who have so much money, they've totally lost their minds.
Yeah.
Whatever has amused them in their lives, has stopped amusing them. So now they've taken to snuff films, secret surveillance, predating on everybody else's lives, poking into everybody else's affairs, taking over other people's lives through these targeting programs. Incredible, incredible, evil as well as incredible asinine behavior, really.
Yeah, it's really, it's sometimes I just don't know the words to say. Sometimes I just don't. If I never lived this, I wouldn't believe it. If somebody told me, I swear to God, I would not believe any of it. If I didn't see it with my own eyes. You need to understand, they're murdering people, putting it on the news and watching people like us that know that they're murdering, watching our reactions and laughing. That's what's going on right now.
Mimicking, echoing our reactions.
So anyway, let's kick this, because I can just...
Yes, we've got to, actually, we're almost near an hour time here.
Oh,
so we have to get back to the program over here.
Okay, so let's get to this. Okay, so, all right, so I showed you this. All right, so basically this is another signal to show us clearly closed yesterday after 19 years. Newspapers don't shut down. I've been tweeting, and I will show you my tweets. I've been tweeting to expose the evil that is going on. Okay, somebody else has tweeted this. I'll look at it and then I'll tweet it out if it's relevant. Okay, so it's time to talk about MS. What is this? Okay, sorry. I'm going to my tweets, right? So I have a pinned tweet.
Yes, we're looking at your Twitter feed right now.
All right, so let's look at this.
Okay.
So basically, fake news, I pinned it on the 1st, but obviously I brought that out on the 31st. And so basically, fake news, MSM, mainstream media are the enemy of the people. Shut down evil corpse. No more evil, hashtag no more evil, hashtag no more abuse, hashtag MSM, mainstream media, murder for profits. Hashtag MSM are terrorists. Okay. Hashtag get the murderers out. Hashtag boycott BBC. Hashtag get the criminals out. You get the gist. Boycott mainstream media. Stop mainstream media terror. Stop mainstream media false flag. Stop SRA, which is satanic ritual abuse. Hashtag pay 7 what you stole. Can you believe it, people? In 15 years, this whole thing of targeting me is because I want to be paid and credited for my work. Can you believe that? They've engineered
completely bizarre. It's completely bizarre.
Of terror against me, like you cannot believe it, because I want to be paid and credited for my famous TV shows. This is the monsters that we are dealing with right now. Okay, so I'm just showing you. This is with where I pinned it. Blast far and wide. I did this an hour ago because I blast all the time. If I'm not blasting, you must know I'm resting somewhere, because I just go non-stop. This is Sister Tony. Check out. This is her channel. Her son was murdered.
Oh my goodness.
And her firstborn, my heart goes out to her, but I'm flagging up my sister here because I never heard about her case before. And, we need to get behind the case. We have a series of tweets that we've been putting out. Let's see if I can see the list of the tweets. Okay, join the hashtag campaign. So this is our brother who's been tweeting as well. So let me just open this up so that you can see a list of some of the tweets. You can actually tweet yourself. So we got justice for Brian Harvey on here, justice for me, justice for Ambrose, or we've got Shane Gibbs, So we need to put Romola D. You know, we need to put the targeted individuals. We need to make this list as long as we can make it and blast it. If we got to make more and more lists where we put everybody down, you know, there is one with Grenfell Tower on it. We have loads of different lists. And the thing is, the plan is that we take over the whole damn social media with these tweets coming at you so that people see them all over the place. When you make a video, you put the tweet in your video. So I put that down, that you posted this yesterday, and then I realized. So we are being effective, people. Don't you think that you're not effective? Trust me, we are the power, and they know it. That's why they're quickly shutting their operations down. Okay, so just know, big up yourself. If you've been part of this, we're making history here, people. So big up yourself and everybody. Big up the UK, Remola, America, you know, wherever you are, Australia, India, Japan, I don't care where you are, Caribbean, you know, Africa, wherever you are in the world, you are, if you're with us, big up yourself right now, because in a few days we've had major triumph. Okay, so let's move on now. I want to show you quickly how to start a claim. Okay, now I made a video about it. If you go on my timeline or you go on my channel, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Let me find the YouTube so you can see.
Yes, I think that would really help, Seven, because actually that video that you've made on your channel is pretty long, it's in depth, and it shows the whole process. So maybe just pointing people to that would be, you know, good enough for now.
Yeah, this one is 15 minutes long, but there is a one that I did with Alfred Webb with it, which explains it. So this is my Twitter handle and channel. Please subscribe. Look, this is how low my tweeters is. I'm tweeting out to thousands upon thousands, hundreds of thousands of people, and look how many is there. That's because I'm being shadow banned. That's why I need.
Most definitely. That's quite astonishing.
Right, to be effective, I need your input. Okay, we are flagging up for humanity, not just my case, not just Ramola, not just Brian Harvey and Ambrose and Grenfell Tower. We bringing it all the filth out, people, because we need to shut it down. So this is my YouTube channel. Wait a minute, I'm gonna find it. Sorry, I might have to, let me just find where it is. Okay, this one, right. So this is my YouTube channel. Now, I recommend that you start all of your videos with this hashtag. If you haven't got a YouTube channel, open one up. If you're part of this campaign and you're part of the humanity who wants to end this evil nightmare, start your videos. If you look at my videos, I don't know if other videos of mine actually say no more abuse. So they either say no more abuse or no more evil. So when you make a video, from now on, and the function of this has got two reasons. It's got two main functions. And the function is no more abuse. When you put it on, if you start your video with no more evil and no more abuse, it sends the message to all social media and all YouTube channels who are going after people for hate speech and this, that, and the other. It sends the message to them that you are on the side of peace. You are on the side of love. You are the one trying to stop the criminality and the evil that is taking place against humanity. So it actually has a very good function. Once you put this in your hashtag no more abuse, YouTube cannot say you did hate speech, because you're showing them clearly, I'm not about hate. I'm not about evil. I'm about ending evil. Okay? So if you start your video with that, and also it lets other people know that you are on board. Here is a list on my channel of some of the actual hashtags. We've got we know the truth, we know what you've done, stop your evil, jail slave traders, stop slave trading, root out corruption, jail traffickers, satanic gang stalking. We are not your slaves. God, not Satan. Love, not hate. Power is the people. We've got a lot of different things here. Okay, and there's other people who have given me other tweets. There's other people who've given me, they've cuffed, so we've got no more dues, so that's no more directed energy weapons. So the other hashtags, we've got no more false flags, no more fear, no more corruption, no more lies, no more secrecy, no more poverty, no more diseases, no more big pharma, no more military industrial complex.
Oh, please,
right?
God.
So we covering the whole shebang here. No more abusing Mother Earth. Hashtag nature is sacred. Hashtag protect all life. Hashtag no more pollution. Hashtag no more nukes. Hashtag no more satanic cabal. Hashtag no more wars. No more evil. Then we have to have no more deep state. We also have to do, I do ones that protect the children, because that's a very, very important one. You know, protect the children. Life is sacred. That should be a hashtag. Life is sacred, man. Value one another. There's so many, but slowly but surely we're getting people who are making up their own, and they're blasting. Even if you blast in your own communities and you don't connect directly with us, it shows a culture of us rising as a humanity. And we're not just saying hashtag Pizzagate. We're actually speaking in these hashtags. These hashtags have got empowerment, affirmations, and statements, declarations, which we're making out to the universe. We're making to confront, because they're designed to be confrontational towards the criminals. So this is why we need to blast the BBC. We need to blast ITV. We need to blast all the news networks, so that they think, holy moly, they've risen up, they know, oh my God. But also we want to be aware, because these people are trigger kind of reactionary people. As they see that we're waking up, they know the horrors that they've done to people. So the difficulty we also have here, let me come back to the camera. The difficulty we have also here is that them doing more false flags. Because once they know, oh my God, the people now know what we've done, like Nero, when he burnt down Rome and he blamed the Christians. If you watch that movie, Quo Vadis, we're talking about psychopaths. Okay, so once they know that we know, which is what is happening, they know that we know now. They've always known that I know. I'm under 24-hour surveillance like a goldfish bowl. Okay, I can't go to the toilet without having been watched. That's where it's happening to me right now. Okay, so what I'm saying to you, when they realize that you have risen, God's people, the people united, has risen all over the world, and they're blasting out these hashtags everywhere, all over social media is these hashtags. We want to literally saturate the whole of the social media with these hashtags. We want to saturate the ethers spiritually. Those of you who are prayer orientated, we want you to burn candles and send light to these people. Because what they could do, and what I see is coming our way as a reaction, is that they could do one of the most evil. They have evil plans, because their reaction to us waking up is to do more evil, to carry out more atrocities, to make it worse and bigger and bigger and bigger. Okay, now people, the other thing is to do, make sure you have extra water in your house. Extra food, extra water, because there's a lot of people saying they're planning to crash the economy and steal all the money from people's bank accounts, which will mean that people will starve, like is going on in Venezuela. People have got wheelbarrows of money and they can't buy a loaf of bread, you know. So we're dealing with a serious situation. As we rise up, you see the reaction of these people, and somehow we need the spiritual people out there. This is why it's important. This battle is spiritual. In Ephesians 6:12, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but principalities and spiritual wickedness in so-called low down dirty places. Ain't high, it's low. Okay, so let us remember the reality of the situation we're dealing with right now. We're dealing with people that are reactionary. So they could crash the economy. There's a lot of people talk. Just have a look at, you know, type in economy crashing, I think October or whatever, within days anyway, right? Because these are crazy people. They do not want to stop this. They do not want to stop it. You cannot reason with them. You can't talk to them. This is why we have to confront them with hashtags. Send it so that we open the spotlight. These hashtags, what they are is light. They're like a spotlight that was going to shine on anybody who sees it. They see the hashtag. What does that hashtag say? Shut down satanic, blah, blah. What's that about? They click it and then they're going to go into one of our pages, because as soon as you, let me just quickly show you again what happens. When you create these hashtags, this is what happens. Minola, I'm coming to these, sorry, I'm coming to the claim forms. 1 second, just bear with me. I want to just show the people what happens. So when you click on this hashtag, it's going to send you, each hashtag, when you do a hashtag, it becomes a hyperlink, okay? So there's one from Alfred, there's one from, so basically anybody who participates in the hashtag campaign is going to go on that. So we've got loads of people who are already participating in the campaign, which is beautiful. I love you for this. You people who are standing up for humanity, standing up for your children, standing up and being counted. Man, my love goes to you. I don't know you, but I'm sending you much love and respect for doing this, because, you know, you're the difference between life and death right now. Justice and injustice, cover up and uncovering the cover up. That's what you are. You're the difference. So we go back to my other page. I just want to show you, because we don't have one hashtag. We got so many hashtags. We can click any of them. Let's click this one and see what happens. We can click any of them, and they've got page now. So we're everywhere. Yeah, we're taking over, baby. Aye, aye, aye. Whoa, people, we're taking over.
So are you saying you wouldn't have a page unless there were lots of people using that hashtag?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
When I started this, there was some, for instance, No More Abuse didn't have a page. Let's see if it has a page. Because if you look at Alfred Weber's show, which I did on the 30th, when we did the hashtag No More Abuse, there was no page. Let's have a look. Let's see if it's got a page now. It means it's got a presence on the whole web. Yay! That's what I'm talking about, people. We're taking over this shit. Sorry, Ramona, I'm not supposed to use that word.
No, it's all right. I didn't say you couldn't.
I'm feeling this because the Most High just inspired me, and he said, you know what, my daughter, you do this. And I tell you what, we're not doing one hashtag. That's why we got multiple. When they try to shut one, we got another one and another one and another one. So I'm sweating so bad. Oh, God. Okay, yes. So, all right. So anyway, you get the gist. You know, when you click on any of these hashtags, it will go. So you don't, when you send your tweet, all you have to do is click tweet and it's going to have the hashtag already in there. But do not forget that the point that we need to expand rapido. We need to expand rapido. So basically we're going to look for existing hashtags whereby we can bed our message. For instance, my show, Strictly Come Dancing. Somebody send a tweet. Strictly Come Dancing. You can put the hashtag in there. So I don't know what that is, Parkland. I didn't click that. Did I click that? I don't remember clicking that. That has just opened.
No.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. So let's put Strictly Come Dancing hashtag. Right. So I need you people to start blasting this thing, because that's my work. And they've tried to kill me for that work and kill a whole heap of people. BBC Strictly. So we put it there. And I want you to do, how many people on this page? I don't even know how many people on this page, but I'm guaranteeing you it's going to be some heavyweight thousands of people on that's looking at this thread. So you need to start letting these people know that this work, all these people who are getting paid for the last 15 years is because of me. And behind this show If you look at my video called Mediagate, you're going to see how many people have been killed behind the scenes of this show. It's no joke.
Really? Oh my
Been
goodness.
murdered. The people getting death threats, etc. All right? So you need to understand the evil that is behind this show. It's a family show, but these people that are coming up on the show, they don't know about me. They don't know I'm the creator of this work. This is my work. This was my blood, sweat, and tears. Okay, this was my multimedia platform, and it's also Dancing with Stars. So Dancing in Stars. So basically, we need to start putting our hashtags in there as well, where my work is. We need to also, when you do your hashtags, don't forget to include the @s. So you put @ so we're putting @BBC, @ABC, all the networks. See all of these @s here.
Yes,
Make sure you
absolutely.
put your messages as well, yeah? Okay, so let's come out of this. Just quickly, one more. Let me do one more for you. I'm going to do Dancing with Stars, because that's a big one. That's my work as well. Stars. All right, so when you go on Dancing with Stars, look how many hashtags, @s we got. We want to blast all of them. Let them know, say, all the money that they're getting. All these people who are getting money. I've not been paid 1 penny for 15 years, even one after winning the biggest case of its kind. Because they, in their mind, they consider me a slave. They feel that they don't have to pay me.
Well, basically, they're engaging in a kind of a criminal refusal to pay, right?
Yes, it's a criminal refusal. And not only that, apart from all this work, which was my multimedia platform, which they chopped up into hundreds of shows and they sold it all around the world, they've continued this practice of stealing all my work for the last 15 years. It's not stopped. We're talking about trillions of pounds. Trillions of pounds. That's why the picture here has some of my shows. When you go onto my page here, I don't know what that parkland is all about. So let me go back to my home page. Sorry about me taking so long with this Remola, but these things are so important to tell the people. I have to bring the people to understand what they're participating in. We're making history. Now there's a picture of me here. When you click it, I don't know if I click it here whether it will show. It's a picture of me with my shows. These are my stolen shows. It's in the form of a 7. But all of these shows, you will know, you need to understand that all of these shows are funding the worst kind of slavery and human trafficking in the history of mankind right now. Okay? So you need to understand that. So I'm asking you to hit up some of these shows that you will recognize. All these TV networks and newspapers and entertainment industries, let them know, because they're covering it up. How can a woman win for all these famous TV shows and it's never been in the newspaper once? Why do you think it's never been in the newspaper? They're covering it up because they're all complicit. They're all complicit. Okay? So that's that's enough of that. So now we're going to come to making a claim. The Form N1 is how you make a claim against any person or organization. Okay, so basically, if you want to sue anybody, you want to file a lawsuit against anybody, sue anybody, or whether it be an individual or many people and their corporations, because even if an individual has done you wrong working under a certain organization, so you would sue the organization and the individual for the organization gets sued for vicarious responsibility. They have a responsibility because while that person was working under within their establishment, let's say a doctor abuses you, you would sue the NHS and the person. So you make sure you attack the person who's abused you as well as the organization. So this is the form. It's called an N1. And basically, I have a video on my channel called How to Do Your Own Court Case, but I'm going to give you just a quick rundown of the basics and sign off, because Remola has to go deal with what she's got to deal with. So that's the first thing. So you make it, so basically, when you go on to, you get the form, which is called an N1. I'm going to show you the form in a second. And I should really show you a copy of mine. But if you go on to my channel, you'll see a copy of an existing form, my forms. I'm actually in court at the moment. I'm suing something called Genesis Housing because this crime ring has taken over the housing sector. That's why
Oh,
Grenfell.
right. Yeah, I think we talked about that a little bit on one of our shows
Yes,
a few months ago. It's been a little while now, but
yes.
yes. So,
So I'm in court currently, and if anybody wants to support my court case as well, I would appreciate it, because part of the problem we have as people suing these corporations is that we don't have any backup from the public because there's no press. Most of our there's very few channels that are reporting on it. This is why it's such a big important thing that we become the press, and all of you
we
out there,
should, yes. And
you know,
Seven, what that really means is if you have a court date and you would like some support, you'd like people to come out and, be there as witnesses, etc. Perhaps that's the time just before that to do a little show and ask people or invite people
absolutely. And it also, as
to
you say,
join.
Ramona, that's a very good point, because if anybody's going to take proceedings against these people, you can make a short video to let people know that you're going to take proceedings, because this whole judicial system is entirely corrupt. And so in order to shed a spotlight on what's happening to you, it's important that you create transparency for yourself by making a video about it. You don't need to talk about your case once you're in court. You stop talking about your case too much while you're in court. You don't show your evidence. Hold certain pieces of evidence back. Do not let them see everything that you have. Put enough evidence in there, and I'll show you how to do that as well. Put enough evidence so that the court will see that you have your situation has merit. Okay, that's what you need to establish. But because we're dealing with corrupt people, you're going to face the situation whereby they will usually always try to strike your case out, call you a liar, and call you a whole lot of things. It's going to be really hurtful for you, because you're going through all this pain and suffering, and they're abusing you on a daily. They've killed your members of family. They've done all the things that you've done. And they're going to call you a liar, they're going to call you a fantasist, and they're going to try to strike your claim out. That's always their reaction. The reason they react that way is because they're controlling the courts. They have fixers within the courts so that they can block your path, they can have people removing your documents, etc. That's why transparency is necessary under the climate that we're living in. So this is just basically
That's great advice.
Okay, the other thing that I need to say, you can look at these notes, the N1, and so N1A, N1C, N1D, N1F. Now, I'm going to look at the American side of things as well, Ramona, because obviously you're in America.
Yes, this isn't going to work here.
Be able to take practice as well to do that. So just let me show you the form in the UK, then we're going to look at the American side of things so that our American brothers and sisters can also participate. It's the same for Europe as well. I mean, basically what we're talking about is currently we should be under the Magna Carta, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights. However, we are dealing with maritime law. So we should be dealing with law, proper law, but they're no longer using common law. We should be dealing with common law, which means when you go to court, your case is heard by a jury of your peers. By a jury of your peers, that means that people that come from the same place as you, that are the same nationality or what have you, your peers. Those are the people who should be in the courts actually listening to our cases, not somebody who's a Freemason or who basically comes from a completely different world, comes from a different class, has got no relation to us whatsoever. And this is the problem that we had with the Grenfell Tower inquiry. They have no representative who's hearing the inquiry from any of the people who died. It should be melanated judges, black judges, Muslims, those who should be hearing those cases. Peers, that's what you're dealing with when you're dealing with common law. Right now, we're dealing with commercial law. admiralty law, which is the law of the sea, and the law of commerce, maritime law. Okay, this is what we're in currently. So they're using codes, and they're using
Statutes, acts and
statutes,
statutes. Yeah.
acts and statutes. So basically you're talking about, for instance, the Human Rights Act, which is basically all about acting. The Human Rights Act, that's what we're under. And I'm going to show you some
That's
articles.
probably right. I hadn't thought of it that way.
Yeah, it's all an act. It's all a stage. This is what it is. But this is what we have to deal with. That's what's there. If you go there currently and you start talking about the straw man, or you start talking about your rights under sovereign as a sovereign, they're not going to hear you. They're only going to hear what is currently in existence within those courts. And this is what it is. Now, until we pull those criminals out and revamp that entire system, this is what we have to work with, okay? So the other important thing that you have to understand is CPR, Civil Procedural Rules. Those are the rules for making any form of claim in the courts. It is the rules that governs the whole process from start to finish. Civil procedural rules. That is the Bible for the courts. Civil procedural rules governs everything that happens from the start of your case to the end of your case. Okay, so for instance, rule number 1 is that the courts have a responsibility and a duty to hear cases with fairly and administer justice. Okay, that's the rule number 1 of CPR, is that the courts have a duty and a responsibility to hear cases fairly and in accordance with rule of law. Okay, in other words, they're not allowed to throw your cases out in using technicalities. Usually technicalities are all under CPR. CPR rule 3.4, I'm striking out your case because your case blah blah blah, it's not got merit, or they'll say that you're a vexatious litigant under CPR. They'll come under, use all these CPR rules to get rid of your case. But they're in the same way, there are CPR rules for you to get rid of their case if they try to deny you. Okay, so basically it's to your advantage to understand CPR rules inside out. Your number 1 is CPR rule 1 of 1. It's called the overriding objective. The overriding objective of the courts is to administer justice. And rule CPR 1B is that the courts have to give every party an equal footing. So it doesn't matter if you're a corporation, it doesn't matter if you're a Freemason, it doesn't matter if you're a government body, it doesn't matter if you're an individual on the street, it doesn't matter if you're a single mother and single father, it doesn't matter if you've got no 2 pennies to rub together. That court has to hear every single person fairly, and that is CPR rule 1B. Okay, so you've got CPR rule 1, which is the overriding objective. CPR 1B is an equal footing. Okay, all parties of the court have to have an equal footing, because you've got to remember, the courts, anybody who's standing in the court represents the court. That includes the judge. Nobody in that court has got more weight than the actual court. So these rules that are specified in CPR are the rules for the court. Every single person that uses the courts has to adhere to them. This is where we all are under CPR. When you enter the gates of the courts, that's what you're under. So it doesn't matter if you're dealing with a corrupt solicitor who's bent, and you're dealing with corrupt police, or you're dealing with the corrupt judges. CPR is what everybody is controlled by. Once you understand CPR and you know when to cite it, you put people in check. because we're talking about a game of chess. You move a piece, they move a piece. You move a piece, they move a piece. But your objective is to take their pieces off the chessboard and checkmate them so that you block them so that they can't move. Now, I'm going to show you the claim form. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do all this in 5 minutes, Romola, but I'm going to give you as much as you can.
Oh, so no, we don't have to go in great detail in this one, Seven, because, you know, we've been all over the map in this one. Okay. But a general idea, I think, is very helpful. And you say you've done 2 videos, right? One on Alfred's channel and yes, one on your own channel.
It's got more information, but if you go to my channel and you pull up the video, how to do your own court case, I talk you through this whole process. But just for quick sake, just for the new people that are coming on, you fill out the court that you're going to be in here, the county court, the high court. You work out how much money is in your case, because the civil courts are all about money. It's all about how much you're claiming for damages. You can do damages online, but I would not advise it because you don't know who you're dealing with. When you issue your claim, they're going to give you a claim reference number and they're going to give you an issue date and they're going to stamp it. You put your name in here, Sally Joseph, you know, and you put your address in there, you put your defendant's name in. So let's say all of you want to sue the BBC because of the fact that they've been doing false flag cover. Basically, you put the name of the individual, because it can be individual, it could be one individual, several individuals, or it could be organizations, several organizations, and individuals. Like in my case, I sued 10 corporations as well. And one. So basically, if you were going to be doing the BBC, you would put BBC is number 1 defendant. Whoops.
You know, before we actually, I have one question about this, because earlier you had said that pretty much anybody, for instance, who's concerned about what went down on at Grenfell Tower, yes, could file a claim. So that's sort of a more generic kind of claim that's different from a claim about your own situation or any crimes directed at you, right? So yes, basically, but people can do both of these, right? People can make claims about their own situation, plus they can make claims about a general situation such as Grenfell.
Absolutely. Very, very good point, Romola. You can sue, for instance, if you're a targeted individual and you've got people stalking you, if you know who's stalking you, of course, you're going to put that person's name in. And you would put, like, you can number them. So you do one, let's say BBC. BBC's 1, ITV's 2, we're going to do Channel 4 as number 3. Obviously, you're going to do all people in the same jurisdiction. So if you're going to file a suit in the US, the whole suit would be US, I would say. Don't quote me on
but I think there's more in terms of jurisdiction. You kind of have to delve into that a bit. I don't know.
Yes, the jurisdiction is very important. But let's say if you wanted to do the networks, you do like this, you know, and so forth. Like, so we're going to go channel, or let's do Endemol. But basically all the networks we're going to make it Virgin Media, because they're part of the criminal cartel. So, but you get the gist. Okay, yeah. So basically, if you would put all the people's name and you would number them. So you put 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you'd make a brief details of the claim. So basically, I put in here before, I'm suing BBC Channel 4 for complicity in engaging in crimes against humanity, such as false flag terror, deliberately creating false news stories, knowing them to be false, in order to deceive me as a member of the public, endangering my right to safety and protection. The number 2.
That sounds pretty brilliant. Actually, I wonder if, you know, this should be the basis of some kind of joint action by many people. In other words, but someone needs to kind of show us the way, as you are currently doing, you know. Yes, what would you say in such a situation? False flag terror, fake news, etc., you know, hoodwinking the public.
Okay, for instance, basically, if we talk about fake news, you could go under what's called the law of tort and the Misrepresentation Act. You know, they're misrepresenting people, and also malicious communications, the malicious breach of the Malicious Communication Act. Then we've got anti-terror laws, because you're talking about a network of people, a crime syndicate that have come together to commit acts of treason and atrocities at the highest level in order to murder members of the public, and not just murder members of the public, but also gloat about murdering them in TV shows such as Family Guy and all these new, you know, what's it called, Last Kiss Goodnight, where they say blame it on the Muslims, or we're going to blame our crimes on the Muslims, naturally. So basically, you know, you could do that, and equally you can do for an individual. So if somebody is stalking you, you know, so you've got to, and I have certain things, I'm going to pull them up as well to show you as quickly before we sign off, because we don't have a lot of time.
No, we do have to sign off in just a few minutes, actually.
Okay, so basically, here's the thing. If it's an organization, you're going to put in the brief details of your claim, okay? You also, if it's an individual, you're going to say, Sally Peters, it should say I. Whoops. I, Sally, or Child 7, which is what all my claims is. That's another thing as well. You can go on to the Farrell Report website, and I'll show you where to pull up my court documents so that you can have a look at them for yourself. So here, it says, I, Sally Peters, I'm suing. So if you start by that statement, and then you make the value of your claim. So if you're suing an individual, you put a brief detail of the person you're suing, number the paragraphs with each person. You can include the Human Rights Act, different aspects of the Human Rights Act. For instance, if you're being stalked, if you're being illegally surveillance, that's a state operation. So basically, you can sue the state. If you know that you're, like my situation is that the landlord that I'm living with is complicit. They're giving access to me in the building to criminals so that they can terrorize me, domestically terrorize me. I meant to say that as well. It's not just targeting, we're talking about domestic terror. We're talking about...
That's right. All of this is domestic terror, and I think that's correct.
Yes, so basically under the anti-terror, so we would start looking at the anti-terrorism laws, okay? So we've got, so you're going to use part of the Human Rights Act, you're going to use part of the, and depending on what the situation you're dealing with, there is a law. Every single situation that you're dealing with, there is a law that covers it. There's laws that govern what the media is allowed to do, corporations are allowed to do. There's laws that cover any form of malfeasance in public office, and any form of corruption. So that's like the law of tort, for instance.
Now, where would people in the UK get information on all of these different laws if they wanted to research the subject themselves? You know, forget lawyers, forget barristers.
Yeah, we're talking about self-empowerment right now.
Yeah. Exactly, self-empowerment. So where would they go? Are there websites online? I mean, can you just Google this?
Yeah, you basically, anything that I've done when I've sued, I will show you my current one. I don't know if I could just pull it up very quickly to show you what it looks like. But if you look on my other video, you'll see it. But the point is, you just type in whatever the law. For instance, I went onto the Housing Act. I had a look at the Protection from Stalking Act, which is, I think it's 1988, and the Housing Act is 1988. There's different acts. It might be 1997. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Oh, but that's all right. It sounds like a lot to remember.
Yeah, and usually I'm on the ball, actually. I'm sorry. It's just that I've got 101 thing and I'm thinking hashtags.
Oh, I know. No worries, Seven. It sounds like there's so much information that you have.
It is.
But basically, you're saying you can actually find this online, right? I mean,
yes, you can. You type it in. So, for instance, you would go in and you just type in the Housing Act. You know, so for instance, oh, the Stalking Act, laws against stalking. So whatever's being
Something
done,
like that, I think, might help. Some kind of keyword like that might help people. Laws against stalking, or
yes,
laws against, breaking and entering,
right,
laws, that kind of thing, because people
right.
are
So
reporting that. Yeah.
right, all of those things would be covered under the law of tort, because tort
Okay.
stands for T-O-R-T, tort. It stands for torture. So anything that comes under that is a harm to the person, because when you're dealing with the civil courts, you're dealing with either injury to yourself as an individual, okay, injury to your pockets, yeah, in your estate, and the last one is, there's three different categories. So
Okay.
either your injury to your name, which is defamation, your identity, your reputation. You can have injury to yourself as a person, as in, you know, somebody corrupt steals from you, they lie to you, they butcher you when you go to the hospital, somebody dies. So we're talking about professional negligence, that will come under the law of tort. Injuries, that will come under the law of tort. So negligence, negligent misstatements. So if somebody deliberately tells you a lie, who is part of an institution, if you go for legal advice to somebody and they tell you you're not allowed to sue blah blah blah, even though somebody's died in your family, and you know that's a pack of hogwash, and they've put it in a letter, it's designed to deceive you from taking action, that's negligent misstatement. You know, if you have these media corporations putting out all these lies and fake news, they can't just put out fake news. There are laws against that kind of thing. That comes under the law of tort. Any form of injury, whether the injury to be to you as a person or to your estate, injury, that's what's covered by tort. Okay, so you can take damages in that respect. You can sue them in that respect. So you could sue an individual for stalking you. You can sue an organization for not protecting you. If you've gone to your organizations for protection and they're not protecting you, you can go to them and you can sue them, because their job is to carry out certain things. Especially as a taxpayer, you're paying for certain things to happen. And if these people are abusing their positions of power, you got the right to sue them. And this is a genuine remedy that you can use. So you can put in, like, for instance, if you were to sue any of these corporations, I would go up in the millions, you know, put it up there, whack it up there, because we're talking about genocide right now. We're talking about these people are profiteering from our murders, our deaths, genocide, snuff movies. So whack it up there. If you're going to take proceedings, you know, if you, let's say for instance, you're going to put your proceedings, you can put you and your friends, it could be a group of you all put your names together. It doesn't need to be just one person, it can be a few of you, and then you can sue a few different people. I sued up to 10 people on my own, okay, and I won. But to make sure you understand that whatever you allege, you have to be able to prove. So let's say you did sue these corporations in regards to false flag terror. You can put in the Farrell report, because that's a report with evidence that these organizations have done this. So you type in the Farrell report and you actually you just use that as evidence in your case. Okay, so the
I'd
other
just
thing
like to
is,
bring up, oh, sorry, didn't mean to cut your train of thought, but what you were saying just now reminded me of something you told me earlier, Seven, that, in cases of targeting with
yes,
stealth weaponry, there is much that you can't prove, but there is other stuff that you can prove. So focus on what you can prove is what you said to me.
absolutely. So here's the thing. It's all about what you can prove. Now, like, a lot of people are being blasted with directed energy weapons, and people say, how do we prove that that's happening? There are things that you can prove. If you've got photographs of people breaking in, or if you've got photographs of breaking and entry, and you've gone to the police like 200 times and nobody's actually taken, your case, they've lied about it, they've corrupted your record, then you might have a course of action in that respect. If you've gone to your council, you live in a building and X, Y, and Z is happening to you, you're being threatened, your house is being broken into, repeatedly, you might have a course of action that way. So the point that Romola has just flagged up is this. when Al Capone, when they wanted to take Al Capone down, who was a mafioso, he was very well known for crimes against humanity of magnitude, like we're talking about now, but now obviously it's a lot worse. But when they wanted to take him down, they took him down for tax evasion. They didn't actually manage to get him for some of the criminality that he was involved in, but what they did manage to get him on was tax evasion. And that's a very important point, because it basically, it's all about what you can prove. They could prove that he was involved in tax evasion. He may well have been involved in murders, money laundering, but their objective was to put him in behind bars. Their objective was to stop the criminality that he was making people suffer unnecessarily, just like these people are making us all suffer unnecessarily for their own unjust enrichments, okay? So that they can sip cocktails and buy islands where they can literally terrorize whoever they want at their own leisure. You know, we're saying to these people, we have had enough. Okay, we don't want you to abuse us anymore. You know, leave us alone.
We're not going to permit you to abuse us anymore.
No, we're not going to allow it. We're not going to just sit back because you've shut down every single part that we can go to for protection. We don't have anything. So you think to yourself, oh, that means that you can do it to your heart's content. No, you can't. We're coming at you with empowerment tools, and that's what I'm dealing with right now. So this is an empowerment tool right here. When you see this form, this is your weapon. Your weapon of choice now is the claim form, okay? This is how you deal with them constructively under the rules of the Most High God, under the courts, because remember the judges, the judges are there to administer the courts. The courts do not belong to the judges, right?
Right, right.
So every single judge is under the rules of that court, just like you are. You are both on the same level, okay? It's not that he's higher than you. He's just been appointed to hear your case because he's supposed to have credentials that give him the authority to do so, okay? So, but we're talking about each and every one of us has got a right to be in this land. If you're alive today, it means that God put you here. Okay, you were given life. So that means you've got the right to be treated fairly. You've got a right to have a family life. And I'm going to cover that 1 second before I'm going. You can see anything else you want to see if you go to my other video, which is called How to Do Your Own Claim Form. All places. So, oh, sorry, before that. So you put the value of the claim. Let's say you're going to sue them for 25 million pounds. Wow, that's wow. But you see, these people have made trillions. So if thousands of people come at them with these kind of figures, because we're talking about crimes against humanity, they're going to think twice before they start blowing up any more people's trade and targeting. They're going to shut it down. We've seen that they're already beginning to shut it down because I've been making videos about this. And so they know that I'm not joking. You need to let people know how
this is fantastic that you're telling everybody how to do it, because now they have a real tool in their hands, you know.
Yes.
And this claim form that you're talking about, we have an example of your filled out claim form, don't we, in the Farrell report, or do we not?
Yes, we go through. Yeah, we do. So you just quickly put the claim, the court you want to be heard, put the amount, court fee. If you don't have any money, you do a fee exemption, and you put if you've got legal advice. It's always good to get legal advice, but a lot of lawyers will not help victims, because most don't have a license to do so, and also you cannot get legal aid to claim for damages. They will not give you legal aid so that you can claim any money from anybody, even though you're entitled to it. So, you know, most of the time you're going to have to do this on your own. But I'm hoping that there's some good lawyers that will come forward that will support us, you know, that will be courageous, some really good lawyers that are honest, that recognize, okay, we're in a different place now. This is not about fear. This is about transparency. We're going to be doing this all online so people can see. So there's no need for any lawyers to be afraid for their lives or their safety at this point, because it's all out there. It's all being shut down, as you can see. So they're going to put your claim reference number. You're going to cite, it says, does your claim include any issues under the Human Rights Act 1998? Obviously, you're going to click yes.
Yes, a big old yes.
Yes, and I'm going to quickly show you how you can use the Human Rights Act, just very quickly. This is the particulars of the claim. So basically, particulars means you have to be specific. So on the 7th day of July 2005, BBC, ITV, Channel 4 and all TV networks engaged in a massive crime against myself and the rest of humanity by deliberately broadcasting stories in relation to the London bombings on the 7th day of July, knowing them to be false. I'm just put that in there randomly, okay? But you can put in there whatever you like. This was deliberately done to deceive me as a member of the mass populace or public in order to conceal international, you could put in order to conceal a case called 7 versus Gossage, sorry, because, and 9 others. That's the name of my case. So basically, it did in order to conceal a case which was coming into the courts at the same time, which was exposing their slave trading and their racketeering international satanic crime syndicate connected to Jim and Savile. So they blew up the trains. So you could put, this is evidenced within the Farrell report. Net. So then you put that. And obviously you're going to have your exhibit, and then you see exhibit marked as.
That's really interesting. So basically you're saying your report and your claim, your case has already proved this.
Yes,
has given the evidence. So therefore
right.
we can come in and claim all of these things because, and make reference to your case because it's already proved it.
Yeah, but it's already been through the courts. They're covering it up, but it's a case that's already been through the courts. So it's what's called a legal precedence. They're hiding it and they're covering it up so that you don't know that.
And then from moving on from this one, whoever's doing this claim can theoretically say that now, I also want to mention this other case of false flag terror that I have been duped and deceived by media by, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But not only that, they've terrorized my life. Especially there's a lot of people out there who have had family members. Being killed. So, I'm encouraging the information to become extremely widespread all over so that we can start cleaning up this filth. Because if you think for 1 second that anybody that's in any of these institutions doesn't know this, you're misguided. Number 2, if you think any of them are going to do anything about it, you're also misguided. It's not about going to Theresa May. They're all part of the syndicate. They're all there to keep the syndicate going. That's why they're not going to investigate any pedophiles. They're not going to investigate anything. They're not going to do anything. They're only there. That's why they put all the people in the Windrush generation. All our people from the Windrush generation came over in the UK and we built this filthy, evil country, okay? Millions of my people died to build up the UK, to make it into the place that it is today. It stunk. When my mother came here in the 60s, she said it stunk. People used to throw literally pee and poo out of the windows because there were no toilets. It was a disgusting place. When my family came here from the Caribbean in the 60s and 70s, they're not really the Windrush. The Windrush was more the 50s. But this place was filthy. And then you got Theresa May, who's manufactured, and she's destroyed people's evidence to deport our people after they built up this country. This is the kind of people we've got here right now. So you cannot tell me you're going to go to any of these people with any petition. You cannot tell me you're going to go to any people of these people. What you do is you use these claim forms. You take the power back in your own hands. Okay, this is what you're going to do. So when you do this, you cite the cases like mine, depending on what your case is. You could do a case on your own personal situation if something's happened to you and your child in one way or another. You put the information, put the organizations' names that are involved in this. Then put a brief detail of what has happened to you. Then you put the value of what your claim is according to you. Then you put the court you want to have your case heard in. That usually, I mean, so far I've not seen any benefit of that section. You put the amount claim, you put the court fee, and if you've got any legal representatives, you put there how much you've paid them, and then you put the total amount. You put the defendant's person, the people you're suing's name and addresses in this section. If you've got more than one defendant and it can't fit in this box, you attach a separate piece of paper and you put C, all defendants' names, C attached. Put their names and their addresses and their postcode. This is so that the courts can write and correspond with them, okay? So on top of that, you're going to put your particulars of your claim. What your claim is about, you're going to give a brief, detailed, make sure it's specific. Particulars means specific, be particular, okay? Then you're going to sign it. This is what's called a prayer, a statement of truth. I, the claimant, put your name, Charles 7, believes that the facts stated in these particulars of claims are true. If you've got a legal representative, they're going to write, I am duly authorized by the claimant to sign this. You sign it and you date it. And then you put your address here. This is so that the courts can correspond with you. Once you've issued your claim, they're going to stamp it and seal it. So you go to, first of all, you go to download this. You can fill it out online and print it out because it's neater, or you can do it by hand. I always suggest that people do these things neater. Now, the next thing you're going to do, you're going to need attached to this, and they're going to ask you. These are the main things, and then you're good to go. Because you can put things in later. You don't have to put everything in at the same time. You can say that, let's say where it says particulars of claims attached or to follow. So you can put this, you can issue the claim form and just say, click attached. My particulars of claims will follow, so that you've got a time to research what you're doing. And especially if your life is in danger and you've got these people to back off, issue proceedings against them so that there's transparency of what's happening to you, okay? Because what I say is, even if you lose, when they have to respond to, this is why this is a tool, this is part of my campaign tool. If they have to respond to thousands and thousands of cases coming at them, the BBC, if for instance, all of the people watching this, I don't know how many people are on this live stream because we can't see it. I can't see anything about the live stream.
I can't see it either.
All the people who are watching afterwards, okay? If you all look at this and think, rah, can we sue all these people? Yes, you can, okay? Now let's see hundreds and thousands of you tomorrow morning or by next week, you start issuing these organizations, these corrupt, satanic, Luciferian, murderous, genocidal, terrorist organizations. If you start suing them, they're going to have to respond to every single one of you, right? Once the court case is given a seal and an issue date and a claim reference number, you gone live, baby. Now we rolling, okay? Now you're in the game. Let's go. That's where we're at, okay? And that's what you need to understand, understand and overstand, okay? Once you issue proceedings to these people, they have to respond to you. If they don't respond to you, you can apply for default judgment. Judgment by default, that means automatically they're finished. They have to respond to you. You take your claim because they get, once you issue this, they've got 28 days to respond to you. 28 days. If they think, who's this nobody coming along with their claim form? Then you think, it's okay, don't have to answer me because I'm going to go and put an enforcement on your ass and I'm going to issue default judgment against you. Okay, once they see default judgment is entered against them, that's when they start running, okay? Now, usually they are corrupt and they will change the date to make it look like they did respond to you, even if you didn't, which is what has happened to me with Genesis Housing. If you people want to send some hashtags to Genesis Housing to pay 7, I would appreciate that. just put the @sign and Genesis Housing Group, because these are part of the groups that are literally, they've moved into the housing sector and they're targeting us in our house. This is what happened with Grenfell Tower. They're targeting these people with their houses, within your houses where nobody can see. As you know, Ramona, they're blasting people with all kinds of technology right now, and they're killing people with nobody's looking. So we need to start dealing with this situation. So if some of you can say, pay up 7 and stop abusing 7 to Genesis Housing Group, I would appreciate it. Okay, so let me just finish this up.
Yes, I think it's very useful to tell people that, because, you know, we do need to advocate for each other.
Yes.
So,
I've got my case in the court. I got judgment in my favor, and they've done exactly what I'm telling you. This is what these people do. They've done it to me. I'm living experience of what really happens in these courts, and this is why I'm sharing it to you. Now,
and that particular case of yours needs to be publicized, and, you know,
yes, but
that's the kind of thing that if we had a real active press, you know, would indeed be covering it. So
yes, but we have to become press. So if you've got a YouTube channel, talk about the cases like Brian Harvey's case,
yeah,
and different cases. You know, we need to be reporting on these things to keeping people up to date with what's happening. Okay, you know, they will try and isolate you, and they will make you isolate yourself, so that, like they've done to Brian Harvey, he's made everybody take down his court case in videos, people, when we went to his court case, and there's a lot of people gaslighting him and smearing his name all over the place. But that's engineering, that's social engineering, so that he's isolated, so that they can take him into the court and he's on his own and they can do what they want to you. And that's what they're doing to us. They're isolating us so that there's nobody watching when they're abusing us and when they're killing us, you know. There's so many
yes, and by isolating, I should let people know who aren't familiar with what's going on that, you know, 7 is talking about character defamation and libel and slander in our neighborhoods and communities, character assassination. This is being done on everybody who's being targeted. So
yes, the gaslighting, it's been done to you, hasn't it, Ramona?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, in my neighborhood, most definitely. How else would your neighbors turn against you? Why would your neighbors turn around and start monitoring you?
Absolutely, you know, and so I really I want you to support Ramona, because what she's doing here for you, she's giving the avenue for you all to hear this. Now, this is also a very important form. I suggest don't do these forms on your own. Always print out the ones that are online. Go to your country and type in affidavit. Go to your country, like I typed in American claim form, and this is the Pro Se Guide, United States.
Oh, thank you for finding that for everybody. Please, we need to put that link beneath the video.
Yes. I mean, I would love to do a show in doing it for all the countries, really, to empower all our brothers and sisters. But this is basically what you need. If you're in America, you go to, this is the guide you need, and this is a guide to filing your own lawsuit.
Wonderful.
In the United States District Court. You may need to file a claim in
state court.
Yes.
And that's the other thing. Maybe there's a guide out there for filing a claim in state court as well. And I like what's below that, complaints against the government, how people can file a claim against the government. I think everybody watching this would probably like to do that. So.
All right, so you can click. Basically, all you're going to do is click it and look at the information and start using it. The power of the claim form is that it means that it has to be addressed. Okay, so basically this is, I've never been on this site before. I only decided, Ramona kindly said that I could come on the show. So I didn't know, I wanted to be able to facilitate people in different countries. Obviously, I've only done cases in the UK, but I wanted to be able to facilitate for everybody so that we can, you know, assist each other in this process. So that not in terms of, you know, sort of common law, in regards to the law that is there right now. Because if you go in there citing common law, they're not going to hear you. Okay?
Right.
You need to be able to use the laws as they currently stand. Now, then we basically, what we're going to do, we're going to file a claim. Okay, basically what I'm looking for is the actual form. because it's going to be the same process. Individual claim, insurance from okay, so let's just
I think that guide might have it actually, or at least point to the right
yes. So this
website.
pro se guide is going to tell you everything about filing a lawsuit, okay? And I mean, everything I'm telling you, I had to learn myself. I never went
Yes,
to law.
I think so. But this is a good signpost. This is sort of a way to get started, I think, so people can
Yes.
start researching this for themselves.
Yeah,
There is,
claim.
unfortunately, you know, going to be a learning curve. People are going to have to do a spot of research to figure this out.
Okay.
And we're talking about functioning without lawyers. So, you know, it's obviously going to be a little bit of a task initially.
So basically, Claim Form USA. Let's see what comes up. Online claim form. Who's this? Is this America?
Oh, no, that's something to do with India, actually. SecureIndia.com.
All right. Okay. So if you're Indian and you're watching, this might be what you need to do. I mean, I can research it a little bit better, and then
Yeah, we can do it another time. Yeah, or we can, you know, just
yeah, because there's
if
not a
you
lot.
find links, we can stick it below the video so people have.
Yeah, but basically, what you're going to be doing, claim form, you basically need the form, and you're going to print it out, and you're going to do exactly the same process, but in America. It will be the same. It will just be for your jurisdiction, but the process will be the same. Then you're going to get what I just showed you now, the form of the affidavit. Let me just find, where did I put the affidavit form? Now, the affidavit is important because it's a document which, you know, if you lie on this document, you signing it under penalty of perjury. And the idea is that you're going to give it to some of these corrupt liars. You're going to issue your claim. You're going to fill in an affidavit, which is sworn as it's an oath. It's different from just a witness statement. The power of this document is that when you're dealing with a liar, you know you're telling the truth. So you know that you can fill in, I can fill in everything I wrote in here about the Farrow report and what's happened to me and the case and which they already know. And then I would have that sworn by the courts, which I've got God knows how many affidavits already.
And I think the form in the US is a little bit different from what I've seen.
Right, yes, it's going to be different.
Format.
This is the British one. This is the
right.
one for the UK courts. Okay, so basically it's going to be sworn by somebody in the courts, and they're going to say this is your first or your second. You're going to have to indicate, because as a court case goes on, sometimes it can go on for years, sometimes it can go on for months. The idea is to get it over and done with as quickly as possible using the method that I'm telling you. But when you issue it, you're going to have to specify, this is my first affidavit, this is my second affidavit, because as time goes on, you might do.
Oh dear, I think, Seven, I think your audio is being attacked.
Statement on more than one affidavit. Hear me?
I can hear you. I'm not sure what happened on the live stream, but at my end, your audio was really broken up for a minute just now.
Okay, did you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Do you mind repeating just the last thing that you said, so in case people didn't
just
hear it,
quickly.
Yeah.
I'm saying that when did you hear that when you do because a case can go on for quite some time.
That's right. You started to say that. Yeah, I heard that.
Right. You have to specify if this is your first affidavit, then you put first. If it's your second affidavit, then basically you're going to say the day it's filed on. Then you're going to have to specify what court. This is a document that comes after you've issued the claim form, because you need the claim form reference number. So you're going to issue this after, and it's going to be within your claim. You're going to put your name as the claimant. You're going to put the defendant or defendant's name, attach a second piece of paper if there's more than one defendant. Okay, if you're going to be multiple, then you're going to put all their names and make sure you have put their names and addresses so that they can be served wherever they're working or wherever they're living. If you don't know where they live, then you put their address of work. Okay, so then it's going to say, then you set out in paragraphs in the same way I showed you. So you're going to go, I don't know if you can type on this one. I don't think I can type on this one. I'm not sure why. But anyway, basically the same method I did. You're going to do bullet point 1, bullet point 2, and you're going to put your name, I, Charles 7, make this oath and say as follows, that on the 7th of July, or what I would say actually, that I was targeted on the by my law firm. I will put the address of the date and the address of how I became targeted, put those details in, and I would go from the beginning if it was me doing it in relation to my case, which is what I've already done, God knows how many times. But if you were doing it about specifically, because as a member of the public, you have been deceived and you've been forced to watch innocent people die in the pretense that this was a terrorist attack, in a snuff movie, whether it be 7/7, whether it be what happened in France, Charlie Hebdo. This applies here. So if you're French, you can actually do this as well. Grenfell Tower, you know, if you are somebody, as a member of the public who watched these people get burnt alive, you can take proceedings against these networks for putting false information out as well. And obviously, if you have your own situation, because many of you are dealing with your own cover-ups, so then you would specify your own case, and then you would basically fill out this affidavit. Now, the power of the affidavit, as I said, is specific in the sense that it comes with a penalty of perjury. If you fill in one of these things and you are lying, you could go to prison for a very, very long time. This is why I advocate for people to force their opponents to sign one of these. If you haven't done it, if you've done it, pay me my money. Pay me my money. And if there's thousands of you, they have to pay out. We'll bankrupt them tomorrow morning. Okay, this is why some of these companies, you're going to start seeing them fold. With this hashtag campaign, you're going to see them start folding overnight. Okay, we start blasting these people with the truth. They're not going to be able to handle it, man. So if you come
and I think companies, you know, it's important to mention, you know, to find out which companies and which corporations are involved in your targeting in whatever way. I mean, I think if the electricity company is involved in your targeting in some way, then they should be on that claim form as your defendant.
You know, anybody who's complicit in your abuse in any shape or form. You know, in my case, I've sued my landlord because I can prove that my landlord has been complicit in allowing people to break into my house, etc., etc., etc. I don't want to talk about the case, who's Genesis Housing. So I can prove that because it's all about what you can prove. If you cannot prove something, it's no point putting it down. It's no point putting it down that you're being blasted with electromagnetic frequencies and blah, 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 unless you can actually prove that you've been...
Right, and perhaps there needs to be a space of time where people begin to collect some evidence, you know, get the right scanning meters, etc., get the right cameras, you know, things like that.
You can actually film the meters being blasted, film the readings of your meters. So there is ways to go about this, but it's all about what you can prove. So anything you say is happening to you, you've got to be able to prove it. Okay. However, as I said, it really, in this instance, as this measure, because this is a tactical, strategic maneuver as far as you know, this campaign is concerned. Obviously, it would be wonderful if we can all get the money back from these people that they stole from me, because that's my intention as well. They need to pay me all the billions and trillions of pounds that they can pay so that we can clean up this world. But in the meantime, while I'm fighting for that to happen, you could be suing these people so that they can start, instead of paying gang stalkers, perps, infiltrators, people to open up channels on YouTube, people to open up channels on Twitter and talk lies and talk nonsense and discredit genuine people. They have people to character assassinate victims. So when you come out and say what's happening to you, they've paid people who will go out there and absolutely lie about you. Okay? So it's really important that you make sure that we take some of that money back. That's part of the process. So if you issue proceedings and they don't answer, then they have to give you default judgment. They have to settle your claim. If they don't, if they say they're going to fight you and they're going to defend the claim, that means that they're going to have to pay lawyers. Now, if there's thousands of you sending them these claims, that means that they have to answer thousands of you. They're going to be overrun and they're going to have to shut overnight. This is why already we're seeing people shut down. Okay.
Yes, and I think it's important that people also understand that at some point you have to take action. You have to say no definitively to abuse. You know, this hashtag campaign is about more than a mere social media declaration of non-consent.
Yeah.
It's way more than that. It's also taking the step of stating this is what's happening to me by making a video. And by the way, we never talked in great length about the video, but I think that's an important part of your campaign, right? Because you've got it in your poster and everything. Make a video.
Yeah.
Each person should make a video to just talk about their own targeting and put the No More Abuse hashtag with it. And, you know, that sounds absolutely fantastic. I wonder if there's a way to get one YouTube channel where everybody can upload their videos or something like that. Some
We could probably
specific
do
spot.
that. I mean, there's talk of opening Facebook pages. There's so much things we can do if we all literally become proactive in this so that we can spread the message. I'm blocked off Facebook, so there's only so much I can do. You know, I've got access to what I've got access to, and, you know, I'm under surveillance, and you can take the surveillance down. You can remove the vans from here. I'm telling you, I've had enough of you. Remove the surveillance vans from here and remove your operation from me. I'm not tolerating your abuse for a day longer. I want my money. I want to be credited and paid. And I want the mainstream media to apologize for what you've done to me and my family. Okay? Don't think you're going to intimidate me with more of your threats, your veiled threats. I'm not going to tolerate your veiled threats. Okay? Stop killing people. We want you to stop doing your false flag terror and stop doing your abuse on innocent people. So I'm just letting the people know out there. Okay? Because I personally am sick of it. But what I'm saying to you people is that they're blocking me all over the place because they know that I know that not only do I know what's going on, all right? I also know how to deal with it. And that's what they don't want people to know. They know that I know the law. They know that I know how to deal with them. Okay?
But you know, Stephen, at this point in time, you have shared this with us. You've shared this information. I think what you've done over here is very powerful. It's very empowering for others to hear.
I hope so, Ramona. I pray so. Even if I reach one person who tomorrow, next week, next month, whenever, sooner rather than later, decides I'm not going to sit here being blasted and abused and stalked and terrorized where I feel like I can't do anything because the police is not doing anything. You know, they have rigged up.
No, we don't have to accept this. And you see, that's the message that you bring that I so hugely appreciate. Because basically, you're looking at this whole targeting landscape, this whole surveillance abuse landscape. Because, you know, it's under the cover of surveillance and surveillance laws and, you know, legitimate laws against terrorism, etc. That's how they've started to target people and happily roll thousands of people under surveillance, probably millions, really. And you know, connect that to weapons testing programs, neuroexperimentation programs, robotics, artificial intelligence, social engineering programs. Basically, universities are being paid money to do this to people. The Department of Defense is paying a bunch of contractors money to do this to people. There are US Air Force contracts being carried out now to do this to people using weaponry, you know, and they can call these non-lethal weapons as much as they like. They are barbaric and inhumane weapons, and I'm going to be speaking about that a great deal more in times to come. You know,
that's beautiful, Ramona. That's really beautiful. And like you said, you know, they're experimenting on people and they're using the whole thing of terror. So you give them their terror back.
That's right. And so what you are suggesting is people can say no. You can step forward. You can make a stand.
These are the criminals. These are the terrorists. You've got terrorists who are literally.
That's exactly right.
The victims. The victims, those of us who they are terrorizing domestically, they are surveillancing us. So we need to flip it. And
they are destroying lives. They are destroying lives. They are destroying fabulous, beautiful, productive, accomplished lives.
Absolutely.
They are targeting people of conscience. They're targeting people of great power, wealth of spirit. great integrity, that's who they're targeting. I've been interviewing people who've been targeted for ages now. I've been reporting on this for ages. And nobody that I have spoken to, nobody whose story I've put out there is a criminal with a criminal record. Nobody is a putative terrorist, a potential terrorist, a putative extremist, a potential extremist, nothing. These are wonderful people who have been wrongfully assaulted, targeted, selected for targeting and extermination, because these are extermination programs. They are 24/7 assault programs with slow kill weapons, assassination weapons. So this is part of the larger genocide program.
Absolutely, but just to add to your point, Ramona, it's also witnesses.
Oh, yes.
People who have seen corruption, whistleblowers, they're also being targeted.
Absolutely. That's the other end, yes.
Members have been terrorized, tortured, murdered within their system. They're being targeted. Or they're
activists are being targeted. Journalists are being targeted.
People who just want to speak the truth. People who are seeking justice. That's a massive part that's being targeted right now.
That's right.
If you're seeking justice, you'll be shocked how they'll treat you. And it's basically against the Geneva Convention. So what I'm saying...
The whole thing is against the Geneva Convention. The whole thing is against, what is it, Article 7 of the Rome Statute, which says that people can't be used, can't be trafficked, and so forth, and can't be enslaved. This is enslavement.
Right, it's so true, Ramona. And on that note, quickly, before we sign out, I'll show you these two documents because they are exactly what you're saying, which you can use as well. These here, can I open, can you see this?
Article 1 of the first protocol, I do see it, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you can see it, awesome. So right here, so this is basically protection of property gives every person the right to peaceful enjoyment of their possessions. However, there'll be no violation of this right in such interference, deprivation, control is carried out lawfully. So basically, if for instance, if somebody's abusing you, because the law says that we can't do X, Y, and Z, but if somebody's abusing you, for instance, data protection, we're not supposed to record people without asking their permission. But if you've got a criminal who's carrying out things against you, gives you the right. They don't have the right to be protected under this article, is what I mean. So anyway, this particular article is very, very important because it covers property, possessions, tangible things like land, money, includes contractual rights, shares, leases, claims for compensation, and intellectual property rights, statutory rights to benefits. Basically, this gives you, so this is a right which is in the UK, which is called first Article 1. Why is this here? Oh shit! Oh no! I don't know where it's gone now.
Oh.
Okay, it's back. Oh no, that's not back. That's something else. I don't know where it is. I'll open it again in a minute. I'm trying to get rid of this thing here. I don't know why it's in the. So Article 2 is your right to private and family life. This particular article, Article 8, because Human Rights Act has got various different articles.
And this is the Human Rights Act in the UK.
Yeah, this is all across this is all across the Europe, right? So, but this obviously I'm in the UK, so I'm
right.
Regarding to the UK. So basically, but
over here we have the Constitution and all of the amendments to the Constitution. And I think the Fourth Amendment is about the right to privacy and so forth.
Right, and the preamble as well you have. So basically, in this instance, we have Human Rights Act, which protects your right to privacy, family life, your home, and your correspondence. So let me just it means state must not interfere with your right to privacy, though this can be limited in certain circumstances. So if you're a criminal, they can, obviously, but we're talking about people who are not criminals.
Who are not criminals, but who are being framed as such. So that has to be challenged.
Have flipped the script and done a flipmo squad on everybody.
Correct.
And basically, they've protected themselves using all these rights, and they've destroyed the victim because the victim doesn't know any of these tools, so that you can actually start using these tools to take out these criminals. Okay, because all of these laws, and remember, the courts are about, the judges are there under the courts. The courts are not under the judges. CPR rule puts everybody on the same playing field. Let me just take some water very quickly.
Absolutely.
Okay,
We didn't hear what you just said, Seven. I think we're messing with your audio again. We should close the show pretty soon.
Okay,
So,
okay. Let me just tell you very, very quickly. This includes right to protect your dignity, your autonomy, public and private interactions. It protects your property, freedom of religion, expression, association, whether you be an individual or family, okay?
oh
Respect.
boy, take some water. Sorry.
That's okay. Thank you, darling. So respect for your sexuality, right to integrity, right to not be interfered with, respect for your confidential information, storing of your data, unlawful state surveillance, right to control spreading of information about your private life, including photographs, etc. It says family life. It goes into this, basically when it comes family, that includes your children, your siblings. All of this is protected under Article 8. So you want to look up Article 8. It's got respect for your home, respect for your correspondence, and all of this, right? So you can actually cite this as well in your proceedings. When you're taking proceedings against these people, you can cite all of these rights, okay? So let's use some of these rights. The last thing I want to quickly show you is I want to show the picture of who we took. Can you see this, Romola? Oh, no, you can't see it yet. Wait a minute. This is the last thing I want to show you before I sign out, because I want you to know what people. Can you see that, Romola?
Yes, your poster, the Seven Gate criminals.
This is
yes.
the criminals in the Seven Gate crime ring. Helen Alexander, she is controlling all the human trafficking. She's the head of it for the UK, officially the head of it. She, from the slavery operation, stealing and selling my work and enslaving people, this woman became the head of the UK's trade. In other words, she's trading people, trafficking people, officially. Okay, she's number 89 on the pedogate list of female pedogate operatives in high places. If you type that in, female pedogate operatives in high places, and she's number 89 on that list. There are 92 women, many of which are in the UK positions of power, are on that list. That list was compiled by Phil McConnell, okay? Right, so these are all the people. Read their names, let people know: Jim Manson, Richard Hanna, Tamsin Lannon of Bindman and Partners. If you hear of these law firms, run. Jeffrey Bindman, these are all criminals. We are told that they're sacrificing babies in their offices, okay? They've got people delivering them babies where they're sacrificing them in their offices. This is how dark this is, people, and I'm not telling you no joke. People told me this woman, Tamsin Allen, she's involved in the Leveson inquiry. She's the one that shut it up. This judge is the one that blocked my courtroom audios. After I got my courtroom audios, he blocked it. This judge tried to block me from taking legal proceeding. He tried to remove my case while I was in hiding, but we managed to overturn his decision. This man is James Manson. He stages, he works for the TV networks. He was working in association with BBC, Scottish media groups, and basically this man actually stages false flags. There's photographs of him at Glasgow airport, faking a false flag and framing innocent Muslims. This is the barrister Brian Nicholson. He was involved in removing my case. He doctored what the judge said, and tried to make it look like I lost and they won in court. So basically, that's why I had to fight for my courtroom audios. And it's this judge that has blocked my courtroom audios from ever being heard. But I've put them online so people could hear it. His name is Lord Justice Collins.
Fabulous.
No, at all. This is a person, Derek Rosenblatt. He's another criminal in the crime ring. These criminals, Russell's group, they're all part of the Russell's Mafia group. It's a massive group. Mark Windows, he's a perp, an agent, a shill who's operating all over social media to character assassinate those victims, people like myself, who are telling the truth. He was on David Icke's channel, which he had a channel called The People's Voice. This man is a criminal. He's working for these criminals behind the scenes. These people all run the mainstream media with Rupert Murdoch. They run the whole of Hollywood. They're running intelligence agencies, and these are the people that you're looking for. If you don't believe me, that's up to you. I'm going to show you more evidence that it's these people. You're going to be shocked, okay? These are the deep state. They're hidden. Okay, these are the deep state. These are the Illuminati. These are the New World Order. These are them. These are Bilderbergs. Okay, they've got much more people involved, but these are the key head ones. When you take these ones down, they all crumble. Derek Rosenblatt is another corrupt solicitor. There's loads of solicitors, law firms involved in this crime.
Right, and You've talked about this, I think, on one of our shows together, Seven, one of our earlier podcasts. I think we talked about your case quite a bit.
Okay.
Two of our earlier podcasts.
I just wanted to show you so that you can see, so that you can start letting people know. Virgin Media with Branson, they are a major part of this whole thing, and they are they've taken over all the NHS. Right, and they're killing people in the hospitals now. They also control Lockheed Martin. Lockheed Martin have now, and G4S. They control these people that I showed you. They control G4S, Lockheed Martin, and all of these organizations are mobilizing to make sure that we are all killed in the most sinister ways, where they cover their tracks. So the lawyers cover the tracks for them, and these people carry out the crime. We're talking about something that's so foul, you can't believe. But anyway, Ramola's had me for long enough. I thank everybody. Thank you first, Ramola. Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
You're very welcome. Thank you for coming on and, sharing all of this great information with us. And I know, I'm so sorry, to see you so emotional, but, I understand. Your case is obviously very intense. And
thank you. And thank you. And everybody out there, I'm thanking, if you watch the live stream, thank you for taking your time to listen to what I have to say. I always feel that nobody's going to listen to me, but I keep going in the hope that people will listen to me eventually, and not because I'm not looking for fans or audience or anything. We just got to shut this thing down. I'm trying to empower you to take action as well. So I thank you all. For anybody that has been sharing the video, everybody who's part of the campaign, much love to all of you. Everybody who's suffering, whose family's suffering, all of you, we're all in the same boat together. Okay, no more, we can't cry about it anymore. We just gotta take action, okay? To everybody, yeah? Thank you, Ramola.
Yes, thanks so much, Seven. Thank you. Your video kind of broke off a little bit over there, but I think we heard most of what you said. So thanks very much again for coming on and all of this great information. So let's all, join in this hashtag campaign, make a video, get started, finding out more about how to file a claim, and then file a claim. And we'll take it from there. So no doubt we'll come back and revisit these subjects.
Share this viral, just spread it all over social media so that our message gets out there. Put it force people to watch it so that they join us, you know what I mean? Ask them, say, no, yes. You gotta watch this, you gotta watch this, because it's important. This is the only hope we have, beyond letting them just do what they want to do to us, okay?
Yes, absolutely. So thanks everyone for watching. Share everything. Talk to you soon. Have a great night, and we'll see you again very soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.